Hello, sixth graders. This week in Human-Environment Interaction, we learned about the different types of resources that the world provides for us and the benefits and consequences of using them. In the rest of Unit 5, we are going to be learning about how we are using more and more non-renewable resources and not enough renewable resources. We're also going to be learning about why that's a bad thing. So it's important that you learn the difference between the two of them so that you understand what is going on in the rest of the unit. The first thing we had you do was fill out the anticipation guide. There were no right or wrong answers at the beginning when you filled it out the first time, but hopefully by the end of the week you were able to see that most of these are definitely true or false. So let's take a look at the other assignments, and this anticipation guide will make a lot more sense to you. The next assignment we had you do was called Summarizing the Text. It was based on an article that was titled, What are Natural Resources? So the first question was really everything. Everything that we use, eat, or buy at the store was at one time found in nature, and those are called natural resources. Next, you need to understand that natural resources are not equally distributed on the earth. Countries like the United States have many different types of environments, so in return, we also have many different types of natural resources. Other countries don't have as many resources as we do, and they suffer because of that. But just because a country doesn't have many resources doesn't necessarily mean that they're poor. If you look at Saudi Arabia, for example, they don't have a wide variety of natural resources, but they do have oil, which is really valuable. So as a result, they're a wealthy country with not a wide variety of natural resources. The next slide goes into the dark side of using natural resources. Many times, when humans gather natural resources, we end up destroying animal habitats or polluting the earth. We'll get into this more in Unit 5 later. And finally, they asked if our natural resources will last forever. This is probably the most important question of this entire lesson. It depends. You see, there are two types of resources, renewable and non-renewable. Renewable resources are always going to be here. Wind and sunlight can be used to make energy, and it's never going to run out. On the other hand, non-renewable resources like oil or natural gas take thousands of years to create. If we continue to use them at the rate we're currently using them, there will come a day when we run out. The next assignment was called The History of Resource Use. If we're going to be talking about the fact that we are using too many non-renewable resources, we have to look back at history and figure out how did we get in this mess in the first place. First, you need to know that humans have gone through three phases in terms of how we organize ourselves and live our lives. At first, we were hunters and gatherers. Then, most everybody worked and lived on a farm. And then we went through the Industrial Revolution, when we built factories and improved our ability to move around the globe with cars, trains, planes, and boats. Next, you need to know that every time our society changed, the amount of natural resources that we used increased. Another thing you need to know is that not only the amount of what we used increased, but also what we were using also changed. When we built the factories and the cars and the planes, we also started using non-renewable resources like oil, natural gas, and coal. The machines that we built also made it easier to grow food, which is good, but that led to a boom in population, which in Unit 3 we learned brings a lot of bad consequences. Question 5 was similar to question 3. All you need to know is that now we use a lot of fossil fuels, and that wasn't always the case. And finally, they asked you about population, which we've already discussed is on the rise, and the rapid increase in population is causing many problems that everyone on the globe is going to have to start dealing with. So that's it. I hope you guys had a great week, and I hope you have a great weekend. And I will put out another video next Friday on everything that we're going to learn next week in Lesson 3. Bye.